You certainly left early this morning.
Well, it's going to be like that for the next few weeks.
Oh, yes, the big fashion show in the Queen Mary.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your talk with Thorn.
Well, as I predicted, it went fine. He went along with it.
So you both are going to see Dr. Bruckner?
Yeah, this morning. In fact, I better get moving. I want a few minutes alone to talk to the doctor before he gets there.
Why?
Well, I just want to make sure that she understands my position.
Your position?
Thorn thinks that we're going in for marriage counseling. I just want to make sure that that's not what this session becomes.
Michelle knows that, though.
Well, I just need a little assurance.
Caroline, don't hamstring her.
What does that mean?
It means we're bringing Thorn in for an evaluation. And that has to be done in the context of a marriage, at least for now. Just so the doctor can see what she's dealing with, the extent of Thorn's problems.
Ridge, no one wants to help Thorn more than I do, but you should have seen him in my office last night. I mean, he was so thrilled at the suggestion that he and I get marriage counseling. I just want to make sure that this whole thing doesn't get out of focus.
Well, it won't if you trust Michelle. She's the best.
What about your parents? Did you talk to them?
Oh, yeah. I did.
And?
And they're concerned about what we're doing.
So am I. Well, I better go.
Caroline. Be careful.
I have never felt threatened by Thorn. Not once, ever. He loves me so much, Ridge.
Yes, but that's part of the problem. He loves you so much that he's blocked something out of his mind that he thinks defiled that love. Now, once he starts to remember it, we don't know how he's going to react. So we have to be ready for anything. So I'll say it again, Caroline. Be careful.
And so once again, my dear friends, the new Spectra, of which you are all such a vital and important part, has overcome every obstacle thrown in its path, and there will be a fashion extravaganza on board the Queen Mary. And there will be national and international press coverage of this event. And
how do you spell extravaganza?
Don't interrupt me, darling. I'm on a roll here, okay? There will be national and international press coverage of this event, and Spectra, the new Spectra, will take its place as one of the fashion leaders on the West Coast. So, my friends, it is full steam ahead, and I'm afraid we're going to have to put in some long hours, maybe some 10-hour shifts. We're going to have to monitor those bathroom and coffee breaks pretty closely, and maybe shave a couple of minutes off those over-generous workers' luncheon hours, okay? And so, my friends, let us all work together as we always have, with hope and pride in our hearts and a vision in our minds, because we are all winners, each and every one of us. And so, bless you all, and I remain your faithful leader, Sally Spectra, etc., etc. I want you to type that up, Darla, and get a copy of it to every employee before they leave the factory today, okay? Darla? Darla, you with me, huh?
Oh, Sal, that was so beautiful.
Thank you, honey. Come here. Extravaganza. Now, Darla, I want you to go out to your office. I want you to type that up, make copies of it, and pass it out to all the employees. You do that?
Yes.
There are days when it takes all I've got just to keep up with the intricate workings of that brain. So, get up here. I need you.
You want me to close the door?
No, I'm expecting a Ridge and Thorn. Have either one of you seen them?
No.
Not me. Here I am.
Where's your brother?
He has an appointment with Caroline.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So what's up? Why the meeting?
Your mother and I have made a decision about this fashion show with Spectra.
We're pulling out, right?
No, son, we're going to go through with it.
We don't want to do that, Dad. That's a mistake. A big mistake.
The bold and the beautiful. This portion sponsored by Advil. In tablets or caplets, Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Ridge, your mother and I feel exactly the same way about this as you do.
We gain nothing from showing our line with Spectra. All we do is add credibility to their product.
Which is exactly what Sally Spectra is counting on. I know that.
Why should we do that for her? After all the years she's ripped us off.
Ridge, I think your father's point is that this isn't something we're doing for our own personal gain.
Clark's right about that. We're doing this for the Children's Medical Center.
We can do something else for the medical center. Another fashion show. We can give them spring.
If we pull out of this event, it fails.
So in other words, we just let this Spectre woman manipulate us?
We're captive, Ridge. The public expects us.
Yeah, well, the respectability we give her because of all this, that's just great.
All right, look, let's talk about Spectra, all right? Now, we have never really taken them seriously. I mean, we've never had to. And I'm not suggesting that we ought to take them seriously now, but the one thing I don't want to do is underestimate them. If there's one thing I've learned through all this, is that Sally Spectra is just about as shrewd as they come.
I wonder if any word's gotten out about this new designer they have with them.
Beau Rivage? I haven't heard anything. Has any one of you heard anything?
I heard he's supposed to be a recluse or something.
That's what the story is.
Well, he's certainly not without talent.
I wonder where she found him.
I could ask around. I used to work there. I'm sure a few of the same guys are still hanging around.
No, Clark. You have enough work to do around here. And this is something for the family to take care of. Rich, I want you to find out everything you can about this fella.
My pleasure. I'd like to have a few words with this Rivage character myself.
All right, and one last thing. I want no backsliding on this show. A lot of eyes are going to be on this event. I want us all to put our very best efforts into it. You can be certain that Sally Spectra is going to do that. All right, let's get to it. Clark, your work is still below standard. And Ridge, I want you to report to me as soon as you have anything on this Beau Rivage. All right? Thanks, Margot.
Caroline, hi. You're a little early.
I know. Is Thorn with you? No, he isn't. I wanted to talk to you alone a moment.
Sure, what's up?
Well, I want to make sure that we're in agreement on the purpose of these sessions.
Well, as I understand it, it's to evaluate your husband.
Yes, but that's not what he thinks. I mean, you know, he thinks that we're coming in for marriage counseling.
Well, his marriage is a big part of his problem.
What do you mean?
Caroline, what Thorne's blocking from his memory is his wife making love to his brother. Now, his feelings for you are probably the cause of that blockage. They seem to run incredibly deep, and I'm sure are incredibly painful. Now, Thorne's gonna need some counseling to help him unravel those feelings, to loosen them, so that at some point, you and he can both be free.
Oh, well, good. Then that is what we're doing here.
Right. Well, what I will specifically be doing here is observing your husband to see to what extent he actually does have a problem.
What direction do you think we're going to be taking? Will we be talking about the marriage, or Ridge, or me?
I can't honestly tell you that.
Hi. Can I come in?
Sure.
Dr. Bruckner. I'm Thorne Forrester, Caroline's husband. Thank you for seeing us.
Oh, you're welcome, Thorn. And please, both of you, call me Michelle. Okay, shall we sit down?
Excuse me.
Oh, I'll be right with you. I remain your faithful leader, Sally Spectra. Oh, God. It's such a great letter. Yes, what can I... Hi, Mr. Forrester.
Would you mind showing me to your leader?
Oh, I'll show you anything you want.
Clark,
What?
do you know where Ridge is?
He's in his office.
No. Guess again.
Margot, I'm not in the mood.
Well, I checked with the guard, and he said that Ridge had left the building.
What are you getting at?
Well, you remember what Eric said in the meeting. He wanted Ridge to check out Spectra. I bet he's over there at that building right now.
So what?
Oh, don't give me that. Underneath that cool exterior, I know that you are shaking in your boots.
Margot, I don't like what you're insinuating. Any connections that I had with Spectra are in the past. You got that?
Send him right in, Darla. Send him right in. Well, what do you know about that? I wish my daughter Macy was here. Hello, Mr. Forrester. What a pleasant surprise. I'm Sally Spectra.
Hello, Sally.
Can't tell you what a pleasure it's going to be for me to work with you and your marvelous family.
Yes, so I hear.
Well, it is kind of like a dream come true to somebody like me coming from my humble beginnings.
Well, humility takes on a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. That's very clever. What can I do for you, Mr. Forrester?
We're all very aware of the publicity you're doing on this Queen Mary fashion show.
Yes, but of course that's to benefit the children at the medical center. We certainly don't expect any remuneration from Forrester for that.
That's very generous of you. But still, we'd like to do a small contribution of our own.
To the publicity effort?
Yes. Let me run it by you and you tell me what you think.
Well, that's very interesting, Thorn. So you were helping Caroline recover from her rape when you fell in love with her?
Yes, and she with me. Isn't that right, honey?
Yes.
And after that, you were married?
And the rest is, as they say, history.
Well, let's talk about that history. Tell me about your first year of marriage.
Well, I suppose it was pretty much like most marriages. Wouldn't you say so, honey?
Yes, we definitely had an adjustment period that we had to go through.
And how was that adjustment period?
Would you like to answer that?
No, you go ahead.
For me, it was the proverbial dream come true. I had never been so ready for marriage when it happened, and it would be unrealistic for me to think that there wouldn't be any problems. And I certainly couldn't be accused of being realistic, not during that time of my life.
Why do you say that?
Because I was in love. I was in love as few men are in love when they marry. Doctor, I can't describe to you the feelings that I had about Caroline.
Looking back, how do you feel about all that now?
Well, I don't love Caroline any less, if that's what you're asking me.
I'm asking more about your sense of reality. You had said that you felt you were a little unrealistic. Do you feel a little more realistic now?
Yes. I've been forced to be.
What forced you?
My wife. And my brother.
So, want to tell me your ideas, Mr. Forrester? I'm very interested.
Well, it's quite simple, really. A lovely program. Souvenir of an elegant evening of fashion on the fabulous Queen Mary.
I like it.
I've already started work on it. We'll make it available to everyone who wants one for a small donation to the medical center.
Good. That's very good.
What I need from you is some information from your end.
Information? What kind of information?
Well, naturally, we'll be featuring all the behind-the-scenes people. For example, our designers, Margot Lindley, Clark Garrison. I'd like some information on your people as well.
Tell you what, I'll give you a bio on my daughter, Macy. She's the embodiment of the new Spectra. I think you'll find her background fascinating.
I'm sure I will. I'd also love some information on your head designer, Beau Rivage.
Sorry. No Beau.
Why not?
Everybody's got their trade secrets, Mr. Forrester.
Yes, well, Forrester doesn't have any secrets.
Oh, yeah? Is that so? Well, then tell me, what's Forrester got in mind for the spring, huh? You see? You see? Everybody's got trade secrets. Monsieur Rivage happens to be ours.
I see.
Now I can get that other information for you anytime. Was there anything else?
No. No.
Tell you what, why don't I show you around the plant, huh? I think you might find it interesting.
Oh, no, thank you, Sally. I really have to run.
Okay.
Goodbye, Sally.
Goodbye. Thank you. Darla, please.
Your brother and your wife forced you to become more realistic about your marriage?
Yes.
How so?
Ridge. Ridge has been my conscience for the last year. It's not that he intends it to be that way, that's just the way he functions. And I think it's pretty clear that however I'm feeling about Ridge pretty much depicts how my relationship is with Caroline.
Why do you say that, Thorn?
Because that's just the way it is. I mean, when I'm feeling positively about Ridge, things go pretty well between you and I, and conversely, when I'm feeling on the outs with Ridge, you and I just seem to fall apart.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Have you thought about why that is?
Yes.
And what have you concluded?
I haven't concluded anything. I don't know. That's just the way it is.
When did Ridge begin to function this way for you?
Sometime last year. I can't remember.
Last winter, fall, summer?
No, it was the fall. Yes, it was right after he came out of the hospital.
The hospital?
Well, you know about my brother's being shot.
Oh, yes, right, of course. And so then when he came out of the hospital...
Well, when he came out of the hospital, I had this real feeling of being protective toward him. I had never felt such love for my brother.
Why do you suppose that was?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I came so close to losing him. I never knew I had such feelings for my brother. It was so intense, Doctor. Anyway, why are we talking about this?
Well, we were talking about how you've become more realistic about your marriage.
Right, and I said it was due to Caroline and Ridge.
Thorn, how have I helped you to do that?
There's something I've always wanted to tell you, but I've never wanted to admit it to myself, Caroline. You have taught me something. Something that I have been so afraid to acknowledge.
What is that?
In any relationship, any marriage, it's unrealistic to think that two people are going to love one another in the exact same way. It's impossible. It would be like a fantasy. And I think, Doctor, you'll agree with me that mathematically or statistically, it would be impossible. But we do feel this way about each other. At least I did. I felt that way. Caroline, when I married you, I really felt that we loved each other so equally. But we don't. And I think it's fair to say that I have a greater intensity of love for you, Caroline, than you have for me. And that's sad. That's sad, but it's true, Caroline. And amazingly, you have helped me to accept this.
How?
By showing me, Caroline, that there is so much more to a marriage than romantic love. There's so much more. And you've given me so much more, Caroline. And I'm willing to settle for that. If you are willing to continue to give it to me.
Well, that's a question we're going to have to leave unanswered for today. But thank you both for your honesty.